I'm Rob, Iulian, and we're going to talk to you today about leads and, more importantly, about customers and how to get customers. I'm going to start with a bit of movie trivia since the last quiz went so well. Can anybody tell me what movie this is from? Glengarry Glen Ross, I heard over here, is correct. Well done, you don't win anything. This is one of my favorite movies. I actually watched it for the umpteenth time last week in preparation for this talk. It's a movie about a load of salespeople trying to close some leads. So those are the kind of movies I watch in my spare time, which tells you I'm the right person to talk to you about this today. And this is really like old school lead gen marketing with a pile of data wrapped up in a tight bow like that. But lead gen marketing goes back way beyond digital marketing. But since we started doing lead gen through digital, lead gen marketers have always been at a disadvantage. This is a screenshot from a report we sent to an e-commerce client back in 2013. You can see we've got great detail on the number of actual sales that are happening, the actual revenue that's being generated. We can dig a bit deeper and we can see which campaigns drove these sales, and we can make optimization decisions and budget decisions based on that. This is 2013. This is a long time ago. To put that in a bit of perspective, it's so long ago that Manchester United were a decent football team and I looked like this. This is me speaking at the second ever Wolfgang Essentials. Look at the fear in those eyes. So that's how long it's been that lead gen marketers have been working at this disadvantage, and the toll it's clearly taken on some of us this time. The years haven't been as kind to all of us as they have been to John. We need to get him on a few more lead gen clients, I think. But it's not the fault of lead gen marketers. The big platforms like Google and Meta, like the majority of their innovation has been towards e-commerce over the last decade. And the reason for that is that's where the best data has been. And lead gen is a lot more challenging. It kind of makes me optimistic at the same time that in a world of automation and AI, the fact that lead gen marketing even exists kind of tells us that humans still want to speak to humans. They still want to deal with actual people. Particularly for the big decisions that are going to require them to invest a lot of time or a lot of money. And while this has always been seen, or while the lead gen marketers have always been at a disadvantage, this is starting to change. Last year at a talk about AI and where Google are going, their vice president, Jason Sparrow, said that first-party data is what's going to be powering their AI models going forward. And it's the lead gen businesses that know the most about their potential customers. The best first-party data you can get is from speaking directly to these potential customers. So this is where the advantage is finally starting to come in. And we look at the journey for an e-commerce sale. It's quite a simple process. You get traffic to the website and you make a sale. Now, I'm not saying it's always really easy to get that sale made. You might have to get people back to your website a couple of times, and there are challenges in that on its own merits. But the journey itself is a relatively simple one when we compare it to lead gen, where you've got to get them to the website. Then there's a really big, important step in the middle where we need to actually generate a lead. And it's only at that stage then that the sales team can get to work and do what they do. This additional step is huge. And if we kind of work backwards, we'll put the two journeys next to each other, starting at the sale, we can see that the lead is kind of the equivalent of the start of the e-commerce journey. And it's at this stage, the big difference is that at that stage, the lead gen marketer knows the information. They have first-party data about this potential customer, whereas the e-commerce marketer knows nothing. But what will often happen when a marketer gets to the stage that they've driven a lead is something along these lines.
Well, my work is done here.
What do you mean your work is done? You didn't do anything.
Didn't I?
So that's us marketers disappearing into the background, thinking our work is done because the lead has been generated. But we now know that the lead is really only the start of the sales journey. And a lead is a lot more than just a pile of customer data tied up in a neat bow. A lead is a real-life, possibly terrified person who needs someone to hold their hand and take them through the process. And lead gen marketers know more about their potential customers than the e-commerce marketers ever will. That's just the nature of things. And if we look at a sales funnel, we kind of think of it as data flowing downwards because that's how a funnel works. That's how gravity works. Everything moves downwards. But when we pass that potential customer down the funnel, we think that our job is done. And this often leads to the kind of classic marketing versus sales argument.
The leads are weak.
The leads are weak. The fucking leads are weak. You're weak.
How many people have been either involved or seen that exact conversation happen? Where the salespeople are saying, you're sending us crap leads, and the marketers are saying, do your job and make a sale. It's a tale as old as time. We go back to the funnel, though. And we kind of want to change this mindset from data always flowing downwards. You might say, you know, the funnel works that way. You pour water in the top, it comes out the bottom. Water always flows downhill, right? Well, not necessarily. Let me introduce you to the Verts pump. This is a really smart but really simple contraption that was invented almost 300 years ago, 1746. And what it does is it uses the flow of a river to actually pump some water back upstream to be reused. And this is how I'd like you to kind of think about that flow of data that I was talking about between the marketing team and the sales team. We really want that to be a two-way street. The marketers are going to keep sending leads to the sales team, but we want the sales team to be sending information and data back up the funnel to the marketers around the quality of the leads. What areas are generating the best leads, and what kind of leads are the ones that we actually want in order to generate customers. And at that point, then, we're not really thinking about it as a marketing team and a sales team. We're all one sales team. We just kind of sit at different levels of the funnel. This is the kind of utopia we're kind of looking for, really, where lead gen kind of becomes redundant, because at the end of the day, like, businesses don't run on leads, businesses run on customers. And it doesn't need to take up loads of the salespeople's time either. There's ways that we're trying to build this two-way data flow into our strategies. And I'm going to pass you over to Iulian, who's going to give you a couple of examples of how we're doing it for our clients right now.
Thank you, Rob. Hi, everyone. So I'm going to talk to you about a few ways to track lead generation campaigns, particularly on paid search channels, but it's also applicable to other channels. So unfortunately, I don't have any funny slides or memes. Sorry about that. That's Rob's job. Because it's all about the data when making the right decisions. So we have three ways to track these conversions. We have the basic one, where you have your website that's connected to a Google Ads or Google Analytics. You have the advanced option, which also gives you the option to import offline conversions. And then you have the most advanced one, which is the API and CRM integration. The basic one, everyone has a form on their website. You have there a form that asks the people to submit their name, their email address, phone number, and message, and that gets sent to Google Ads, or it gets sent to Google Analytics, and from Google Analytics gets sent to Google Ads. Pretty simple. Now, this is very easy to set up. However, it doesn't offer the AI, again, AI, that information about the lead quality and about the customer. And what happens a lot of times is, because the algorithm doesn't have that information about the customer, or if it's a good lead or not, it will try to get you as many leads as possible, so as many people that will submit that form, which is very dangerous, because that will eat up your budget and you might not get any results. The second one, we have here a very complicated thing, but what's happening there, basically, for every click that's done on a Google ad, there's a unique identifier called the Google Click ID. That Google Click ID gets stored on your website in a cookie. And then whenever people are navigating to different pages, they will end up sending a form. And whenever you are collecting the user details with the first name, last name, and so on, you are also collecting that ID. And then it's up to the sales team to follow up on those leads. It's up to them to actually close that sale. And then whenever a sale has been made, that information, that Google Click ID, is sent back to Google Ads. How this looks actually on a spreadsheet, you have there your Google Click ID, you have the conversion name, which can be offline sale or whatever, the conversion time, value, and currency. So what will happen after that in Google Ads, you will have your leads in there, but you will also have your sales. And then with those sales, you also see the value of the actual sales. And then you can also start using some more advanced bidding strategies such as bid to value, which will optimize your campaigns to get you more and more customers, but also more value from those customers. Now, if you've used Salesforce or any other CRM, you might be familiar with this funnel here, where you have a lot of stages for those leads. What's really cool about this CRM or API integration is that you can send back whenever a lead had a life cycle change. So let's say from a lead to an MQL or from a lead to a customer, you can send that event back to Google Ads, and that will help the algorithm. Now, us in Wolfgang, we love to talk about all of these strategies and all of these innovations, but we also love to show you some results from our clients. So we have here the first example from a client. They're called Swimlane. They're an American cybersecurity company, and of course, they wanted customers, they wanted SQLs, but they were optimizing for leads for form submissions. Sales were also happening even months later because the sales cycle is very, very long for them. So we had to feed the algorithm more information to get more qualified leads. So before, we were optimizing for that form submission, and after that, we started optimizing for MQLs and SQLs. What happened here is that after the first quarter, after we implemented this, we saw double the number of SQLs quarter over quarter. So we basically doubled the ROI of their Google Ads campaigns. Now, you might be asking why we are not saying the opportunity or the customer. That's because that Google Click ID can only be used for 90 days. The third example here is for the DMI. They have courses that start at $395, but also masters that are over 10,000 euro. So again, they also have a long sales process, so we need as much information as possible. Before, we were optimizing for that form submission, and that's a brochure download. Again, it gives us some information there. But after that, we started optimizing for customers, so for actual people, for actual paying students. This is the holy grail whenever we are doing this lead gen tracking, and we want everyone to get to this step. Now, early results here show a 33% increase in closed won opportunities, and also a 16% increase in the value coming from those paying students, from the customers.
So to finish up, I'd just like to urge you all to have a really deep think about what it is you're actually looking for. Are you looking for leads, or are you looking for customers? If it's customers, have a think about what kind of data your sales team have that might be of use to your marketing team in building out the strategy. And talk to your Wolfgang point of contact about how we can start to build that intelligence into our digital marketing campaigns in order to start optimizing for customers rather than optimizing for leads. Thank you very much.